So I am back again with a new vulnerable machine, which is in this case or today it's Typhoon vulnerable machine. This machine is, it has multitude of enumeration aspects, pen testing, various entry points to get shell access, whatever. So this machine is very beneficial, especially to those who are just starting to their hands on pen testing. So it has been a while since I have not uploaded any video. I'm sorry guys, I was very busy, and I hope that I'm getting back in this. So let me start by, as we do, the first the first and foremost stage of pen testing is gathering information gathering. So we start off by discovering the host on the network by using netdiscover, or in this case we can use nmap with ping option to start the discovery process. Here you type the network IP address. Oops. Okay. Nmap. Okay. So now we are in the process of discovering the live hosts on the network. So basically, in a regular environment, you would like output the results here to a text file. So here we have many hosts. The target host is this. So we have our target, and this machine has many open ports and associated services. So as I told you, it has a multitude of ways for entry points into getting access. So let me start now by digging more and get deep in this machine by issuing nmap, and let's say stealth scan with aggressive mode, the IP address, and we go. I prefer to use, stealth scan, because I get used to the scenarios when I scan, let's say a host, and I don't want to. I just don't want to get attention of the firewalls. So just use stealth scan in this case. Try to avoid or try not to get attention of the intrusion prevention systems. So here are the scan results of this machine. Okay, so we will try to cover all of the ways through which we can, or by which we can get access and root access to this machine. So we start off with, we have FTP, all right, and anonymous FTP login is allowed, all right. So it means that we can log in to the FTP server using anonymous credentials. For starters, you can just type FTP, the IP address of the machine. Then the username goes for anonymous, oh my gosh. Really, man? I'm clumsy today. And the password is anonymous. So here we are in the FTP server, just issue pwd for the issuing the current directory. So we are in the home directory, I think not home, the root directory. So ls la, so see nothing here. If you try to use cd to home, it's failed to change directory. So technically, I could not find any entry point from the FTP server. So we go skip this, and we go ahead to find, we have SSH server, of course SMTP, and now getting our hands dirty with the HTTP. So you can see here that we have a web server, Apache web server running, and it's saying that there is calendar stuff here and calendar application. Okay, so let's go to this 192.168. So this is the main page of this web server. Let me open a new channel or a new terminal here. Let's scan this web server. Let's minimize that for a while. And okay, so interesting results. So it's here entry Mongo admin in robots. This entry here says not forbidden. So let's try to access this. You see, it's all about enumeration. Pen testing is all about enumeration. You just enumerate, find holes, find loopholes, just try to discover, figure out. So here's kind of Mongo database. All right. So here, if you choose credentials and click on change database, you will see here two entries. Click on creds. So you will see username and password. So it's pretty clear that the username and password, okay, are used to log into the SSH server. So let's now go to the SSH here, and let's minimize that. SSH Typhoon at 192.168.94.132. Okay, the password in front of us. I think I did some typo here, which is the username. So instead of double N, it's double O. And the password again. Okay, so now we get access through SSH. pwd home Typhoon cd to home. You see what we have directories. So you have admin, postfix user, and Typhoon. Okay, before you get yourself into discovering directories, files, what files have set UID bit, what are the possible exploitation vectors, the first thing you as a pen tester would do whenever you get access or a limited shell access into a system and you want to escalate your privilege to get root access or to prove to your client that there is a vulnerability or there is a misconfiguration that might lead to root exploitation, just first thing you do is know what is the version of the Linux system is used. So here it's 3.13, okay? And your next step is to find that if the system is patched or not, or find that if this version has an active exploit or not. So use search exploit W and Linux. Okay, so here you find two exploits for this version, and they are in exploit database. Okay, so let's grab the link. Of course, in a regular pen testing, you are not allowed or you need to go back to the agreement with your client to see if you can download the exploit and execute it on the client's machine. So just don't just mix between CTF and any regular pen testing. I have seen many scenarios where many pen testers, just they try to or they exploit the system without getting back to the agreement between the vendor or the company that has hired them and the client. Just need to be aware of this. Just before exploiting a machine or getting root access, just consult the client to see if it's enough to show that there is an active exploit for their system, or you just need to prove that. Okay, so let's go now to temp, see what we have here. Okay, so here are the exploits or the that I have downloaded because I did the machine before now, and you just need to do wget, okay, paste and hit enter. The exploit will be downloaded to the current directory or the temp directory. I'm not going to do this because I have already done this before. So the exploit is here, okay. Your next step is to compile this using GCC 37292.c and define the output or the name of the output exploit. In my case, is shell. Okay, so you just define the name and hit enter. Now, the next step is executing the exploit. Shell. So the exploit has been executed. Just now make sure that you have got root access by issuing ID. So now we are root on the machine. Next step is go to root and cat the flag. Okay, so that's the first entry point. We just did simple enumeration, discovered that there is a directory that has or that leaks access credentials. Okay, and in most companies and most clients, they don't have these kind of vulnerabilities. So just to train yourself on enumeration. In most case scenarios, you will not find these instances in any real case or any real world scenario. It's rare to find this. Simple task of simple tasks, simple system administration tasks. Now, most system administrators are aware of these kind of things, and they just set permissions on the sensitive directories, or they prevent data leak like this one. So let's find out what is the next entry point to the root. Clear. So what we have now, let's see what the web server has for us. Okay, so next we got Mongo admin for now. Let's see what we have other than that. So here it says that there is shell shock vulnerability in this path for this file. So the next step is to try to understand what is shell shock vulnerability and how to exploit or apply this exploit in the scenario here. So let's copy this and go to the URL, copy link, so this is regular GNU bash of shell shock vulnerability. And you can find here more information about this and how to exploit this vulnerability in the web server. So here, shell shock bash environment variable command injection with exploit. Okay, so I will go simple on this. Okay, so now the next step is applying this exploit to the web server. So here, nope. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my wiki. I don't know if this is being shown on the screen or not, but I have switched to my Windows machine to get the exploit. Of course, I'm gonna put this in the description of the video to how to exploit the bash shell shock vulnerability. So I'm sorry if I'm letting you wait, but I don't memorize this. I just stored this in my wiki. So okay, so again about to copy this here. Okay, so simply I'm gonna put this in the description or in a separate file so you can apply this. So here we go, the IP of the attacking machine, which is my IP address. One nine two 168.94. And here in the listening port, I'm gonna choose 4433. And don't forget to open a listener on your machine, netcat or nclvp. Now we specify the IP address of the vulnerable machine or the target 192.168.94.192. And here the script or development script in our case is test.sh. So we receive the connection back from this, and let's see, try to ID its root access. So technically the shell shock vulnerability, when we exploit this, it gave us back root access directly without any limited shell. So this is the second approach into getting root access. So far we saw that we can, by simple enumeration, we saw information disclosure or sensitive information being disclosed through an incorrectly assigned permissions of this directory. And the second vulnerability was shell shock vulnerability. And of course, you will see the reference of this vulnerability here. And I'm gonna put you in the description, as I said, the exploit, how to do this, or how to apply this. And let's go now, continue on with the other ways around this. So through the web server, we can see here there is a PHP my admin and there is CMS. Okay, let's go now to CMS first. CMS. Okay, we see here it's like content management system, home, blog, and login. Okay, so simple. We need to find the username and password for this to get admin access. So at the end, we get, shell back to our machine by executing arbitrary commands on the system, like we do for WordPress. So Lotus CMS. So this one, it must have an exploit, an active exploit. We can do this by searching the web, or we can launch MSF console to do the job for us. Let's see here what we have on this. So search Lotus. Okay, on Google, Lotus CMS exploit. So there are many ways. So here's kind of evaluation. Remote command execution. Let's see this. Okay, it's a Metasploit. So let's look for this in Metasploit. Okay, here's Metasploit. So remote command execution. Windows. Okay, here it is. So let's use this exploit. Use show options. So here, all we need to do is to set the IP address. Our host. And let's say exploit. See what we're gonna get. All right, great. So we get Meterpreter session. Let's drop that into shell. Oops. Okay. ID. So we have here limited shell. Tomcat 7. Okay, it's simple. You can just go and download the exploit we have just seen before to get root access, or let's search for other way around this. So pwd tab. So we are in tab directory. Interesting. Let's see what we have in here. So we have script.sh. So let's see what is in that script. Okay, so this is my footprint. Okay, when you go and output the content of this script, you're not gonna see this line. Okay, because this is my footprints. Okay, just assume that you don't see this right now. Okay, you haven't seen this. Okay, the script.sh, interestingly, uh, all users, including others and non-privileged users, can write, read, and execute this script as root. You see? So here, what we can do about this is you can insert a reverse shell into that script. Okay, so this is a reverse shell. I have echoed into that script. So when this script is executed, which is script.sh, the reverse shell gets me a connection back to my machine, which is here my IP address and the port on which my machine listens. So this is one line, okay, reverse shell. How do you go about making this? So a new terminal, we can do this. We can do that in two ways. We can use MSF Venom to create this reverse shell. Just use payload as, let's say, cmd, and what payloads we have on this Unix, and we use reverse netcut. Oops, we forgot to determine the ports. So let me control. Okay, and we define the lhost, which is our IP address. L port, the port on which our machine will listen, 4433. And you just execute that. After that, you're gonna go and echo or paste this into the script. So here I get this reverse shell. So what you're gonna do is to go to the target machine and issue the command echo, paste your shell and echo that into script.sh. Alright? After that, script.sh will have the exploit here. So let's now remove this. And after having the script containing the reverse netcat shell, we just go to and open a listener in our machine on 5433 and wait for the connection to be received on our side. I think I did something here. So here and now we are listening to the port 4433 and the script here will connect back to our terminal on the other side. So here you see we received connection from the victim machine issue ID, and you will see that we get root access. Why? Because this script runs as root. And this is a little misconfiguration here, making these kind of files or these kind of scripts that run in privileged mode accessible to everyone. This script, okay, should only be accessible to privileged users, which is root. Okay, so this is also another way of getting root access to the target machine. Okay, let's close this now. Quit here, say yes, exit, exit, clear. Okay, so going back, see what we can do as well to get access. So let's go about phpMyAdmin this time. Okay, root, no access. Root TOOR gets us access. So what can we do here? Okay, we can go here and execute SQL statements. And more than that, let's do something different this time. So you see many databases, and all of these databases contain users, admin, user, phpMyAdmin also contain, MySQL also contain users, as you can see here. So all of these databases contain users. If you go about collecting all of these users, okay, and store them in a separate file, and then using the following, you guessed what I'm gonna do, right? So Hydra L, here we specified the user file, the user's file which contains the collected usernames from the phpMyAdmin. So in my case, it's on root desktop word lists 1.txt. Okay, now the password file would be the same, or not the same, let's say. You can use raku user share word list raw.q.txt, and we specify SSH as the target, and you run this. Okay, you'll get after that a pair of credentials to access into SSH. These pair of credentials are, I'm not gonna run this time. This time I'm not gonna run this, because it's gonna take time. I'm gonna now just specify the username. Oops, I shouldn't have done that, admin. This is the privileged username that you will find when you run the previous command. Okay, let's now specify the password file, which is user share word lists raw.q.txt SSH. Okay, now this is gonna take time, as I said, but because I cannot remember the password for the username admin, so I think I need to run this. Okay, while this is being done, let's discover another entry points. So we are done from the web server. Okay, let's close that. So here also we see that we have Samba server, and Samba server could have possible open shares from which we can garner and see possible entry points like open shares, misconfigured permissions on some files, or simply vulnerable Samba server. Also, we have here MySQL. We have this, another port or another web server, which is Tomcat. Okay, so for Tomcat, let's now to access this Tomcat thing from here. Tomcat. Oops, not found. Yes, we need to specify the port. So Tomcat, where's Tomcat, by the way? Okay, let's remove Tomcat from here. Sorry, I'm just kind of... Okay, so here's the main page of Tomcat, and here it says if you want to access the admin console, just go to Manager Web App. So you go here, and yes, I am logged in automatically because I have done this before, but if you have been encountered with the login web page, just the username and password, or the default username and password for any Tomcat server is Tomcat. Just use these, okay? Because these are the default, credentials. Then you will be here, okay? Then how do you go about taking advantage of this? You're just gonna go to Metasploit, MSF console. Okay, here we discovered that the username admin and the password Metallica are the pair of credentials that can be used against the SSH server. SSH admin 192.168. Okay, the password would be this. Okay, admin, ID admin. So you're now admin on the system. Sudo L, password for admin is Metallica. ID admin, the same. Okay, let's skip this for now, and we see the exploit for Tomcats. So search Tomcat. Okay, for Tomcat exploitation, we see a couple of exploits here, and let's pick up one. Apache Tomcat Manager authenticated upload code execution. So let's grab this. Copy, use, exploit, show options. Okay, so we got everything figured out. HTTP password is Tomcat. Set HTTP username Tomcat. Set our host. Set our port. Don't forget that. To put 8080. Exploit man. And you get Meterpreter. And if you want to escalate your privilege into root, you just go about the same thing we did for downloading the exploit for the system or the vulnerable Linux version 3.13, or you can insert the reverse netcut shell into the script.sh, okay, the same way. So let's close this for now and go back to our SSH thing over here. So here we are admin on the system. So let's see home cd admin. Okay, nothing over here. Let's try sudo l. So it says user admin may run the following commands on Typhoon. All. It can run everything as sudo suroot So let's see script.sh cd tab. No, I think for script.sh we did this before. But how can I go about taking advantage of this user admin? I don't know what I'm gonna do with admin. cd root. Okay, so we did the version exploitation, we did the script.sh reverse netcut thing. Now we need to find another way of getting root access through this account, admin. I think there's no other way other than the two ways we did to get privileged access. Okay, that's for admin account. Let me show you now the last thing you can do in order to get limited shell on this machine. Exit, clear. You saw previously that there is Samba server running on this machine. Where is that Samba server? So it is running here. Okay, port 445 Samba server and port 139 Samba server. So instead of using like the traditional conventional way Onion for Linux. Let me now show you how to use Nmap for this. Nmap, and let me use port 445 and port 139, since these are the ports on which the Samba server is running. And let's now script engine using Vuln for this. Our target is 4132. So I'm using here the Nmap script engine to find vulnerabilities on the Samba server. And let's now monitor the output, see what we're gonna get. It's interesting and enjoyable machine actually, although all of the entry points are pretty straightforward enumeration, regular enumeration um, steps that you would take regardless of the system you are testing. Okay, so Samba remote code execution from writable share. Risk factor is high, and here the CVSS ranking 7.5, which is pretty fucking high. So it means that this vulnerability could land us kind of root access on the system, since you see the risk factor is high and the ranking is also critical. Here are the information about the vulnerable share. So next, Metasploit, MSF cancel. Okay, I'm gonna let you wait for a second while I'm doing thing now on my phone. So I'm sorry for this. Okay, so let's search now for Samba. See what Metasploit has for us. So for exploitation, let's look at these or those. So we have one excellent here, which is Sampa is known pipe name. Let me use this over here. Copy. Use paste, not read only. Show options. Okay. Set our host. Okay. Specify the SMB folder. The SMB folder is typed here. Temp. Now set, we have the SMB share name. Let's copy the share name. Sometimes you don't need to specify these parameters, but just we specify this to guarantee and ensure that our exploit is successful, which maybe not. Okay, great, we are lucky. Command shell session 1 opened. ID root. Okay, so here I stop, and I hope that this machine was enjoyable for you guys. Actually, this machine is straightforward. You can consider this as a practice for enumeration, which is a very important stage of any pen testing you do either during CTF or during regular penetration testing for your client. Just, we enumerated many open services on the machine, vulnerable services actually, Samba, CMS, all of these services are just vulnerable and waiting to be exploited by your enumeration. Just enumerate, find the exploit for the current vulnerable service, and yes, you get root access. Sometimes you get direct root access. Sometimes you get limited shell, like we saw in some cases. Then you need to escalate your privilege. You just need to find misconfigured files like we saw for script.sh. It is misconfigured script. Anyone can edit, read, write the script which is run as root. So anyone can insert malicious codes and arbitrary commands into this script to get, I mean, root access or netcat shell or whatever. Or in the other case, we have been able to exploit and escalate our privilege because of an unpatched version of Linux or the system. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video.